racing hasn't exactly laid down a patch of rubber glory in the US. While the sport is extremely popular in Europe, Fiat's gunning down rural dirt roads has failed to appeal to the beer-soaked NASCAR crowd or the Formula One elites in America. The same holds true for rally racing games. In the US, they're generally a non-event, despite the fact that games like Rally Sport Challenge and Colin McRae sell in the hundreds of thousands elsewhere. Looking to bridge the gap is DiRT, a nice mix of simulation and arcade elements. But is it a jack of all trades or a master of none? While it doesn't bear his name, DiRT is really the next-gen debut of the Colin McRae Rally series. Past games in the franchise, while extremely realistic, have been known to have Spartan presentation that's high on substance, but low on flash. All that has changed this time around, with an elegant menu interface that's narrated by Extreme Sports poster boy Travis Pastrana.
Want new cars and accessories? Then you'll have to earn them in career mode.
This slick presentation is the gateway to a full tank of content. If you can dream of an off-road event or vehicle, you're going to find it here. The career mode is where most will spend their time, climbing a massive pyramid of events, unlocking and buying new vehicles along the way. There are truck races across motocross courses, long-winded scrambles down dusty dirt roads, tarmac-laden ovals, daunting hill climbs, and just about everything in between. As you complete events, you're rewarded with points that ultimately unlock races higher on the pyramid. With well over 60 events to clear, and some with multiple heats, it may outwardly seem like the game has the legs to run a marathon, but you can quickly whip through most of the races with 1 or 2 attempts. And a few solid days of playing will bring the career mode to its knees on the middle difficulty setting. But that's really just the beginning of the DiRT experience. You can whip around any of the courses you've unlocked in the career mode in Rally World, or go all out in the championship mode and compete in full multi-stage rallies. The only real downside is the Xbox Live Play. It may seem like a no-brainer, but you do not have the ability to race at the same time as other cars. Instead, you jump into a lobby with up to 100 racers, vote on the track and car, and then perform a solitary time trial. There aren't even any ghost cars to race against. This makes sense for some of the narrow courses where more than a couple of cars would be mayhem, but swapping paint in online multiplayer is something you'll have to get somewhere else. DiRT does come with a plethora of licensed cars from the usual rally suspects like Subaru, Mitsubishi, Fiat, Toyota, and the like. You also get a smattering of more fringe vehicles like big rigs and rally trucks to keep you on your toes. Best of all, these vehicles can be smashed and crashed in a number of ways until you're basically piloting a chassis and engine down a course, albeit with gimped handling and engine performance. If you're looking for a lot of meat in your racing games, DiRT does not disappoint. The lack of true head-to-head online play is a huge disappointment, but otherwise, only the Gran Turismos and Forza Motorsports of the world can eclipse the content offered here. One thing that the Colin McRae Rally series has nailed in the past is how it feels to strap yourself into a rocket-propelled hatchback and careen down entirely too narrow courses, holding onto each turn by the seat of your pants. That pedigree has definitely transferred nicely to DiRT. The sense of speed is incredible, with so many objects placed so closely to the track, and you almost always feel like you're one abrupt oversteer away from flying off course into a tree. It's a great sensation, and one that's only exacerbated by the stellar in-cockpit view. DiRT also does an excellent job of making each vehicle handle differently. Some of the hill climbing vehicles use brute force to power up the slopes, and you really feel the horsepower. The smaller hatchbacks can turn on a dime, particularly on pavement where they stick to the road like a vacuum. Then there are the big floaty trucks where you have to look way ahead of the course, find your line, and then finally adjust as you romp over each bump and divot. For such a wide variety of terrain and vehicles, it's impressive how much TLC was given to get the interaction between the two just right. If your stock vehicle isn't getting it done, you can always go and tweak the settings. On all but the 2 hardest difficulty settings, this isn't really needed, but when you step up to race with the pros, you have the choice of being a wrench monkey or calling on an expert for advice. Some of the gameplay issues are inherent to the sport. For instance, far too often you'll find yourself completing solo time trials instead of racing against other cars. Some of this wouldn't be an issue, but too much of a percentage of the game is spent on lonely stretches of road screaming to the next checkpoint marker. When other cars are involved in the races, they can be ruthless, running you off the track as they try to keep the line. This is balanced somewhat by being able to play bumper cars in the corners, but this certainly isn't the ideal solution. The time trials are normally held on the windy, narrow courses, and as luck would have it, there's a co-pilot sitting there giving you an audible update of impending sections of the track.
80, left 5.
His input is invaluable, as he uses a number system to describe the severity of each upcoming turn or the amount of distance for each straight.
Left 5 into right 5.
You'll learn to listen to him carefully, or pay the price. The most annoying aspect of DiRT is easily the loading times. Codemasters has attempted to cleverly hide them by rolling through detailed stats based on your performance, but it can literally take a minute to load up a race. Of course, the ultra-cool driver cockpit view makes up for it a little, but this game could have used a little more time in the optimization tank. Niggling issues aside, DiRT replicates the sensation of piloting tricked-out go-karts, loud-as-hell rally trucks, and horsepower out the tailpipe hill climbers across dirt, tarmac, and gravel, as well as any game before it. Rally racing may not have caught on in the US yet, but if games like DiRT keep being released, that could quickly change. If you're looking for the perfect replication of sliding around a gravel corner with all 4 tires holding on for dear life, then buy it with no reservations. The learning curve is just right regardless of your experience level. There's a ton of content despite the lack of true online play, and it's a very pretty game, despite some occasional drawing. DiRT is the ultimate ambassador for the sport.